I had a much bigger problem. I just didn't see the parents stepping in at all.
Can't go overboard, and people have emotions.
Nothing fun about it. If you keep pressuring me like this, I won't play.
Parents don't understand the opportunity that can be there. 3 more years, there's going to be a decent amount of college scholarships.
Because of the rate that I'm growing, by the end of the year, if I am over and over again making main draw, I shouldn't play 5-0.
Welcome back to the Southern Pickleball Podcast. As always, I'm everyone's favorite 4-4 duper Corin, and I'm joined here with my co-host and co-founder of Southern Pickleball, Mark Spackman. On today's episode, we sat down with Stan and Jaeda Minniefield and talked all things junior pickleball, good and bad. Should juniors be able to play in adult brackets? Are they getting just a little bit too mouthy? And can we fix those junior divisions overall? But before we jump into the action, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, thank you to our sponsors, Head Pickleball, a favorite of Southern Pickleball and its players all across the country. Diadem Sports, the official pickleball of Southern Pickleball and of the world, and the only pickleball that we want to play with and you should want to play with as well. And Mizuno Pickleball, the shoe that is helping us grow the game on and off the courts. We're also grateful for Mizuno's continued support of Southern Pickleball as they provide us with some incredible giveaways for our tournament players and fans. Last week, 2 players from the Beat the Heat tournament won a free pair of Mizuno shoes for subscribing to Southern Pickleball TV. Congrats to L. Carter 460 and Marcos Maquez 7497, our winners. We're super excited to have Jaeda Minniefield and Stan Minnifield. They're local Atlanta folks. We play with them all the time, and they've played a lot of Southern Pickleball in their time too. I like to tell people that now that Jade's a pro, that we made her. You know, it's like our first. It's like
I'm
our
not
first
sure how much we had to do with it, but we sure are proud of her. That's for sure.
It's our first grassroots. So how we doing, Jaeda and Stan? How we doing today?
Hi, we're doing amazing.
Absolutely.
So you also just played in PPA Bristol, and what all events did you play?
I played mixed doubles qualifiers, women's doubles qualifiers, mixed doubles main draw, women's doubles main draw, and then 5-0 in both mixed and women's. So you also had then a long week. So you played qualifiers in women's and mixed, and you played 5-0. Yep.
And how was that?
It was amazing. I was able to make it to main draw in both mixed and women's qualifiers. Was able to actually win a game against Ava Ignatowicz and Kaden Nimoff, which felt awesome.
Huge win. And
then end up losing later to some other pros, which was amazing to get that experience.
Yeah.
And also end up playing Leah Jansen and Lacey Schneeman, which was also another really good experience. Was able to lose 11-5, 11-7, which awesome. And then for 5-0, I was able to get gold in women's and bronze in mixed.
Oh, look at you. Look at you. So I do have some stats on you here, and you tell me if these are correct or not correct. So I have that you are 15 years old, but are you pickleball 16 or are you pickleball 15?
I am pickleball 16.
Pickleball 16. So we're going to call you 16 years old. You are a lefty.
Yes,
wrong-handed, we like to call it. Tricky out there. Your status is pro eligible, obviously, because you were in the main draw. And for the people out there, Jada actually made it to the round of 32 in mixed.
Impressive.
That's correct, right?
Yes, that is.
So, I mean, that's only a few games away from playing for a medal right there. I mean, how cool is that, right?
It's nerve-wracking.
Oh, I can only imagine. I get nervous playing 4-0 tournaments, so I can only imagine. You have a duper of 5.25.
I do.
Would you say you're everyone's favorite 5.25 duper?
I definitely would think I'm everyone's favorite 5.25 duper.
And even though you're a little bit, you really like doubles a lot, your singles duper 5.10.
Yep.
How about that? How cool, Stan? How's it been watching her? You know, from little old Shaw Park days. For everybody that's been watching the podcast, you know we love to talk about Shaw Park. To now playing against some of the best players in the world. How's that been?
It's been amazing. Nerve-wracking. I say, playing with her was more fun and relaxing than watching her play. So watching her play is just the most nervous thing that I could do right now. I think I'd rather let her drive me around in a car than watch her play a match against Leah Jansen and Lacey Schneeman. But it's been a great ride. It was when she got better than me, it was the proudest and saddest day at the same time.
Probably didn't take long. So
It
for those
didn't.
out here, for those watching that don't know, why don't you two, and you can go, anybody can say it, but how did, Stan, you get started, and then how'd you get Jada into pickleball as well?
Well, when we lived in Virginia, there was some friends of ours that just took us down to the courts. They ripped up the tennis courts. We didn't know what they were doing. They took us down and showed us. Jada might have been 6 or 7, and they showed us how to hit it. And she had the attention span of a 6 or 7-year-old. But it was something that she could, had a little bit of coordination and was able to do. But then we moved back to Atlanta. COVID happened. Didn't play, and I looked up to find out, hey, where can I play pickleball at? And I saw a ladder league at Oregon Park. And I told Jada one Saturday morning, hey, I'm going to play pickleball. She was like, can I come and watch? I was like, yeah. So Saturday morning, she got up and we hit the balls a little bit, warming up before the ladder league started. And that was our Saturday routine every week. And she just got better and better and more comfortable hitting the balls. And then the next cycle of the ladder league, she was like, can I play in it? I was like, sure, I'll ask Mark. And he was gracious enough to let her play in that ladder league. It was a little rough. It was rough going. Her and who was the young man that played with you?
Cam.
Yeah, Cam. Her and Cameron played in it. What were they? 10, maybe 11? I think 11. She was 11. Yeah, she was 11, almost 11 and a half when she first started playing in that ladder league. And she probably was a 2.5.
I would give myself a 3.0.
So yeah, that's kind of how it started, and it grew from there. And then we went over to Shaw Park, and that's where we met Corin and Brett and Zach, and just so many great people. And where she could, she just hung out with adults on the weekend because we were up there Saturday.
Yeah.
My wife would be like, "Are y'all ever coming home?"
So Jada, when you started playing, you were very young, obviously. I was 6 when you first hit, but 10 or 11 already playing ladder leagues. Was that? Were you scared? Were you nervous? How was that?
It was interesting. It was weird because I was playing adults. Obviously, I wasn't playing little kids. They knew how to hit the ball better than me. They knew more about the sport than I did. So it was more so fun to be able to grow a little bit with that group and know some things that I didn't know before when I had first started off. So it was definitely a good experience.
That's good. I'd love to hear that. So I do have a couple questions in, and not to get controversial, but
to get
controversial. Let's start, when you're in open play or in a ladder league, a lot of people do kind of not want to play with the junior players. Why do you think that is?
Firstly, I think it's because of age. Adults don't want to play with little kids. They don't see it as competitive. They don't see it fun. They think it's more so like not a waste of time, but a waste of time, because to them, their first thought is they don't really know how to play. Mm-hmm. They don't know how to really hit the ball, which is kind of rough for the kid who could possibly be really good.
Yeah, fair enough. And even if the kid doesn't know how to hit the ball, I think we'll talk a little bit more about this, but where do you learn to hit the ball? If you can't, if there's not a group of kids out there, which now there is more than there was, especially when you started, but there's not. So, Stan, how did you navigate that? I mean, did you have to go to bat forever? Or?
Yeah, well, when Jada first started, honestly, that ladder league, they really felt like I can't move up the ladder playing with this 11-year-old kid.
Yeah.
I'm losing my matches. And when you're playing competitive and there's something on the line, you're going to target the weaker player. So when you get kids beginning out, it's unfortunate. The adults, instead of saying, let me kind of spread the ball around, they picked on Jada and Cam, and and so after that, you get enough people complain about it. It's like, okay, we got to put an age range on this thing. And then when she went to Shaw Park, the great thing about Shaw Park was there was a lot of beginners that just took her in and let her hit. And I say within 5 months of playing at Shaw Park, I had several of the adults say, I can't play against her like a kid anymore. I got to treat her like an adult, right?
Yeah.
They weren't pulling punches anymore, and she was able to kind of hold her own. And then we did our first tournament, and it was the same thing. You go out on the court, and they see this little kid, and they're like, okay. And I like to say she might have been one of the first young kids that I saw out there playing tournaments in Southern Pickleball, because I had to register with the age of 16 just so she could register, because the system wouldn't let you register after, under a certain age.
Well, we were aware of that. We weren't going to bring that up. I decided that I wasn't going to bring that up because that has been a recent trend that we've had to crack down on, that we've had multiple junior players that are going in. And what's neat now is you can go in and you can change your birth date in your profile, and then you can switch it back. So, I mean, that's probably a pickleball.com issue, that the birth date should probably be set, that you shouldn't be able to change that. You should probably have to send in an ID or something to get it changed. But again, I think what I was going to feel like is, we target the junior players with all of this, and they sort of get a bad rap, but it wouldn't surprise me if there's some 49-year-olds out there changing their birth date to play seniors at 50 over with their partner too. But I think it's changed a lot. I was involved a lot with that back there at Oregon Park, and I'm going to talk about that. So one thing, I'm so proud of Jada, because you kind of took that happened and sort of used that as like motivation.
Yes, definitely.
And it's got to feel good to know that some of those people that didn't want you to play in the league with them on, what were we playing, Thursday nights then, I think?
Yeah.
Probably want your autograph now. So that's got to feel cool, right?
It feels amazing to be like, oh, I'm finally better and good enough that they are like really shocked and in awe of how I play.
Yeah. I think some of the things that we had going back then, and I've talked to y'all about it before, I think if there's any regrets I have about all that, and I probably some of that caved into some, peer pressure of everybody, like all these people going, hey, we don't want that, to play. And then is that we didn't have other alternatives. And I think if we had other places for juniors to play, it's different, because we want to be all inclusive. And if we had other places to play, maybe there could be a separation. I don't really think it was about the kids. The things I would always get is they were like, well, we're getting off work, we want to have adult conversation, and, when I think back on it, or, I got to watch what I say if I got a kid in the court. And I'm thinking now, it's like, well, you probably should be watching what you say no matter who's on the court.
Right.
Right? That doesn't really, but those were the sort of, justifications. But I'm just glad that you sort of took that and turned it into a positive and made everybody sort of rethink that, because I think you made people rethink a lot of that, myself included, of how to do that. So, and I think all those people are like just, super proud of you, even if maybe they didn't want to play with you every
Thank you.
Thursday night. So, but how, what do you feel now about, well, I guess first I want to ask you, is there an age limit where somebody's too old that you don't want to play with? I mean, is it the other way? I mean, is there an age like that you're like, that's just not fun for me, I don't want to play with 56-year-old Mark? That's just sort of boring.
I personally don't think there really is an age limit. Everybody's good. I mean, I think it's fun to play with all ages, any range.
Okay.
I think you're being nice.
Well,
I think you're being too nice.
I'll say we go back to Virginia every year, and the community we lived in was called Fawn Lake, and they invite us to play every year. And Jada goes out and she plays with them. The first people I played against in pickleball was Sally and Bill. And at that time, Sally was 68 and Bill was 70.
Wow.
And they whooped up on me and my son like something fierce. And every time we go back, they ask to play with Jada, they invite her out. And this last time, I think the average age of the people we played with at Mary Washington College, when they invited us to a group, they might have been 55, 60. Most of them were a little older than me.
Yeah.
And she played with them, and they loved it, and they was lining up to come on the court to play against Jada. Just let me see what I could do. And she had fun. A couple of games we played the I formation. I just put her up at the net and let her play the whole court against them, and I just got any ball that she might not have been able to get to. But she had fun. She enjoyed playing with them. They enjoyed playing with her. So she really does mean it, that It's really about the skill,
Mm-hmm.
and recreationally, if they can present a little bit of a challenge, or she can have fun and enjoy the game. It's not an age limit there.
Yeah. So I mean, on the rec side, I would agree. I think that's what's so good about pickleball. But when you play, for example, 5-0 PPA, and you're playing that 8 to 34 bracket, do you feel any way when someone walks on the court, and you maybe have like a 23-year-old and then like a 57-year-old on the same team? Does that make you more confident? Do you want to play that game? Does it make you, are you just so locked in it doesn't matter?
It doesn't really matter to me. I think I've played enough people to where a 56-year-old can definitely hang. They show that they have the skills and the talent to hang in that age group, and I definitely don't bat an eye at it at all.
So you're saying if you walk on the court and Mark Spackman walks on the court, you're not licking your chops a little bit?
I mean,
you're not like, oh,
if it was Mark, then I think I would be a little bit more happier than anything,
Yeah,
to
I
be
think
able
you
to
would,
play.
because you still got a match you're going to get me back for. I think I got a big win against you in my record books back in the day. I'm probably not going to play you again.
I mean, good thing it's not in Duper right now, so I'm fine with it.
That would hurt you bad, because I am like 4.1 and going down by the week. I don't know about this new algorithm, Jada. It's just
it is
something
rough.
different.
Oh my goodness!
I won a gold and silver, and I go down at the end of the weekend. So I'm like, goodness, I don't know what to do.
I mean, after each match, I'm just like refresh.
Yeah.
That might help me though, if you'd be willing for us to put that match in.
Hey.
I think it was me and Cindy Alligator, it was you and Sam Wells. It was a big one in my memory. We could put that in. That would help my.
I mean, I don't think I would accept it. I don't think
Yeah.
Sam would accept it, but you could definitely try. I mean, go for it.
So Jada's okay with it, being kind of the younger. But how do you feel? Like when you saw the 11-year-old, it had to change the way you play. You said it did, right? I mean, you had a clear body bag that you didn't take. Let me ask you this first and foremost: what's the age where you feel comfortable to play them how you would play anyone else? Is there an age, or does it just depend?
Well, it really just comes down to like that. If it's a tournament, you just have to go out and play them. Like you would anybody else. And so if you don't, I mean, I remember, first time I played Michael O'Leary in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
And so, I played him at Shaw Park when he was in the wheelchair. And, Sung and I, we were going over there we've been told that, there's this murder ball thing on Friday morning you're going to play. And then like my second match, I'm playing a guy in the wheelchair. And I'm like, well, I guess I need to take it easy on him. Well, about 4 points in, we're like, man, you better figure out a way to hit in those spokes, because if you don't hit in those spokes, that ball is coming back, because he was incredible, So I think you just got to play, ever who's playing you, so it was down. I mean, I think, and it depends, the young man that I played was so polite and nice. That's just not what I saw in other. And I was like, I really don't think, and I have the bias that I've seen. I've had the history with Jada, and I've seen all that. Have some regrets with how that was handled. So I probably tend to want to be more inclusive and have all the kids play. But I heard, I'm also, one of the owners of Southern Pickleball, and from a business standpoint, what I'm hearing is the players, they don't want to play with the kids. So I think, for me, the responsibility is to create other opportunities for the kids to play. But also what I'd like to hear about from Stan and Jada a little bit is, I think part of it is because it's not the kids out there. I mean, a lot of these kids were like 10, 11, and 12 years old, and they don't know. They haven't been taught the etiquette or taught what is right or wrong. And I told my daughter, Mary Emily, I think you may have heard me tell her earlier, I was like, if there was some of the things that I saw on the court, I don't care if you would have been on TV with ESPN broadcasting out there or whatever, and if I would have seen you treat another adult that way, I would have went out and yanked your ass off the court right then and pulled you and said, hey, we're going home, and you're not going to play. And so I've watched like Jada play with Stan, and Stan's never telling Jada what the line calls are, or trying to get involved. He's encouraging her or whatever, but, we just saw a lot of stuff. So I guess my question maybe, what do you see with that? Stan, what's your advice to parents out there?
I'll tell you, the thing that I'm most concerned about now is the chirping that is happening on the courts with these young kids that I've never really seen before. The yelling, the screaming, the staring people down. And that was not a part of the pickleball 3 years ago that, you know, me and Jada started out with and fell in love with. It just wasn't a part of the sport. And I would have never, and I still don't think if you're playing against an adult, there's just a level of respect and that you got to bring to the court. And I saw a kid, I hate to bring this up. I saw a kid, they're playing a match, and this older gentleman on the court next door was packing his stuff up to gum. And the kid was like, "Can you move faster?" And you know, everybody on the side was like, whoa, wait. And the kid's parent, you know, didn't say anything, didn't, you know, correct him. And I'm like, you know, that, and sometimes it blurs the line of respect because they're on the courts competing with these adults. And there's a blurred line of respect, and they might, you know, talk to them like they're talking to somebody their age.
But, you know, one thing that stands hard, though, because they can be over, like at the PPA tournament, they can be over at center court in the grandstand, and they're seeing Matt Wright wave the finger at Hayden going, no, or talking the stuff. And then an hour and a half later, you know, that was their guy that they're watching play. An hour and a half later, they're out in their court, and what are they doing? They're emulating what they just saw by the pros. So, I mean, that's what I wonder if some of it is collectively for us all, you know. But I don't know, I just didn't see the parents stepping in at all, you know. And even for us, it was just even like the etiquette of waiting till a point was over before you cross the court. But they don't know. They haven't been taught.
I think, I mean, personally, I think you can't take the flair out of the game. So you can't, I don't know that we can blame Matt Wright and Christian Alshon for being,
you know. We can blame whoever we want to in this podcast.
Well, we can blame whoever we want. That's not who I'm going to blame, right? Because I think they have to have that edge. I think that's part of their competitive edge. You'd never tell Kobe Bryant to tone it down, right? I mean, this is a professional sport the same way basketball is.
But we've had that debate for years. Are pro players role models?
I think they are, but I do think this. I think it comes down to the parents. And I think that's where kind of the juniors playing in the adult brackets gets a little tricky because not everyone's parented the same, right? I mean, Jada, for example, is a great example of someone who I don't think we'd ever have an issue with. She's going to play her game, be very respectful. She's going to tell you good game after.
Well, you want to say that, right? But now, I mean, Jada, I mean, you're going to be part as you're going on the pro tour and you're winning matches. I mean, is there ever a thought that, hey, if I do something a little outlandish or whatever that makes me a little more marketable and everybody's talking about me and they're going to know my name? Or
For me, no. I definitely know people who think that way and who have done stuff like that, and it has grown their reputation, but not always in the good way. That's one thing I feel like people don't really realize, is that everything you do is very closely looked at. And it could be taken a good way or a bad way, no matter what.
I'm just becoming a bigger fan by the moment.
So well spoken, right?
Yeah.
But again, I think, you know, for those people, if they're playing in a division that's, you know, if they're playing me and someone, you know, else my age, I think it's almost okay. It's more okay, right? I mean, you can taunt a little. It's, you know, people have emotions, you know? I mean, you can't go overboard and be flicking me the bird and telling me, you know, all these crazy things about my family. But, you know, if it's a little wave or let's go.
Well, I had a much bigger problem. I mean, you talked about, so we had the 11-year-old.
Yeah. And
he gave me the stare down one time after he did his shot. I was like, really? Come on, you know. But he was excited, you know. But I felt like, you know, he's young, full of excitement. Next match, we played two kids from Clemson, both named Joey, you know.
Oh, yeah, I watched that one.
Yeah, you saw that one, right? You know, and I had Joey the redhead. You know, no offense, Joey, but I'll talk to you about it if I see you out there.
Yeah.
You know, he questioned two of the line calls. You know,
and
both of them were. I mean, they weren't even close. I mean, one was 6 inches out, one was 2. And finally, after he questioned the second one, he sounds like, you know, hey, I want to say something to you about it. Because, I mean, I'm not going to let you bully me around the court. And I'm also I'm not going to start feeling like I'm going to start changing my calls if you can't hit the ball in the court, you know. And the fact that he'd already blown one on the baseline, if he looks at the thing that he missed a call, you know, that's the cool thing about having the podcast. You can get the last word in every time. So, but that bothered me a lot more with him being, 21, 22 years old doing it than it did the kid, because I thought he should have known better. And then his partner, was afterwards just like, super respectful about it. But I thought about it afterwards. You see, that's my mindset. And then I thought afterwards, well, I'm playing down in their division. Maybe they don't want to play with me. And I got called sir more times on Saturday.
Sorry, sir. I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah, and maybe they just, maybe as much as maybe I might complain about the juniors, is that they just don't really want me playing in their bracket either. And maybe that's a fair point.
Yeah, that's a good debate. I mean, if we're going to say perhaps that juniors can't play in an adult division, can a senior play in a young person division, right? I mean, where do we draw the line? I guess that's the question.
Yeah, or can a 3-0 play in a 5-0 division?
Right.
And you're just like, you're just going for a lottery ticket that you get a big win and your duper takes off. But if you lose, it doesn't hurt. In fact, the other person's going to go down if they're not nice to you.
So then, as someone who's been a junior playing in adult divisions, because, primarily when you were playing tournaments at first, it was all adult divisions, right? There weren't many junior tournaments. You had no choice except for to lie about your age. We'll forget about it. Don't get any ideas out there. Don't do it. We will catch you. You will be caught.
We won't call any names.
We won't call any names. We won't call any names.
Well, that's back when the minimum age was 16.
So it still is. The minimum age is still 16, but we are going to get into some junior events. That's something we'll tell everybody about here in just a bit. But back to you, right? I mean, what's your thoughts about it? Being someone who was a young woman in the adult division.
It's definitely interesting because I understand why the adults don't want juniors to play in their division, but I also can see why we would not want seniors to play down as well, because it's like if younger people can't play up, then older people shouldn't be able to play down, because it makes no sense for me, who's equally as good as this person, not to be able to play, for them to be able to when we are both the same level.
I think that's a fair point. You have to do it. You have to do it both ways. You can't.
Yeah. I hate that because I love beating up on you old guys whenever you get in my bracket. She makes a good point. What do you think, Stan?
Selective memory.
I actually like it. I like it the way it is. If you want to play down in age and you want to test it, and it's the same thing. There's this young kid, a Wolf kid, and he plays juniors, and if he had played in the under 12, he's 12 years old. If he played in the under 12 bracket, he would have demolished every 12-year-old.
Yeah.
So he played in the under 16 bracket and almost demolished every 16-year-old, right? And, it's about skill level. And there are some 50-year-olds that can go out there and show these young kids a thing or two, and there are some young kids that can show the adults a thing or two. I think it's keeping it open is good, but I think with the kids, I think there's a little bit of an ownership on the parents to kind of make sure that they understand just kind of the sportsmanship of the game.
Right. You hear that, parents? If you raise your children right, we wouldn't have this issue.
Yes, there has been a lot more kids lately who have gotten very arrogant on the court with their play level.
Where do you think that's coming from, though? You probably talk to them more and know more. Where do you think that's? Is it coming from social media? Is it coming
from that ticker talker?
Could be both. Part of it is some of the pros, yes, because they are role models. But another part is sometimes the sport background that they came from.
Yeah. Because
some of the sports like soccer, tennis, they're very intense. So they're used to that yelling, stare downs, and not the etiquette that pickleballers have. All right. For some of the other kids, it's more so because they just want to get in someone's head. And they don't realize that even though it does work, it doesn't give them the best image.
Right. So I don't want to give any of these players that you're going to beat an advantage knowing that you looked up to them, but I am curious, now that you're out of pro, who are the pros that you look up to? Who's your favorite pro player?
My favorite pro player, I would have to say Tyra Black.
Okay.
She's definitely a big favorite of mine for sure. Tyra Black, Paris Todd, and Georgia Johnson. For sure.
It's a good trio.
Those are
So
my
what
top
what
three.
is it that stands out about those three to you? What makes them your favorite?
They're not like some of the other pros who are super loud, super outgoing. They're more quiet, reserved. They really show off by their skills. They show off with how they play the sport, not really with their talking.
Right. Now, do you get to have a lot of interaction with those during the course of a tournament, or how does that work for you?
Repeat that?
Do you have a lot of interaction with any of those players during the tournament? I mean, how do you get a chance to talk with them in between matches, or do you just sort of see them on the court? I mean,
I've gotten a chance to talk with a few pros. Another favorite is actually Elise Jones.
Okay.
I really love her, and her defense is just outstanding. It's ridiculous to me. I talk to her a lot, actually, at each tournament. She'll come by, say hi to me. We'll have conversations. And it's just nice to know that those pros are willing to talk with some of the amateurs who aren't as good as them.
So you played against Leah Jansen and Lacey Schneeman. How was that? How was playing against two of the best pros out there?
It was fun. They're amazing players. It was also an eye-opener for me and my partner to realize that we're able to compete with them, hang with them, and to possibly beat them, especially even in the future. It was nice just to get that realization that we belong there as well.
Wow, I love to hear that. And you do belong there. So, love to hear it.
Thank you.
well, I think that's big. I mean, I remember listening to Leia talk one time, and she was talking about when she actually started making progress on the pro tour. And she said it was when she finally realized when she walked out in the court that she belonged there. And she was no longer having to convince herself that she was supposed to be there. She said she used to play when she would go out there, and she would start every match trying to figure out if she belonged there or not. But once she knew when she stepped into the court she was in the right place and she could just focus on winning the match, that was when her career sort of took off. So that's sort of cool that you're getting there already and knowing you belong out there.
Yeah. Were Leia and Lacey, were those the two best pros you've played yet? Or because you've made a couple main draws now. So who's been the best pro, or even just the coolest pro that you've played?
I would say CJ Klinger and Mary Humberg.
Oh.
They were a really good duo when I played them.
Yeah. What was the score to that game?
We don't talk about scores back then, we keep that more secrets.
Fair enough. So
you didn't make Zane's pickleboard on that one, did you?
I didn't.
Good job. All right. That's awesome.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. Did you see that podcast that Zane did where he had like the pro players with the most pickles or whatever and had them all ranked?
No.
We got to find that.
That would be good.
Bad for some people we know, but it was pretty funny.
So what's like the coolest thing about, because you love the PPAs. What's the coolest thing for you? Why do you keep going back? Is it just to go pro? Is the atmosphere? Do you play any APPs at all, or?
I do play a good amount of APPs. One reason why I keep going back to PPAs, though, is because of the competitiveness and the level that they have. The level that the PPA is going with right now is it's remarkable. It just keeps getting higher and higher. And so I keep going back to see, can I beat this next level of greatness that's coming along here? While APP is also amazing tournaments, and it's also similar to PPA, they also have a level of greatness that you also want to go to and see, can I beat them?
Stan, you been media training her, man?
No.
You've been
No.
You've been waiting for moments like this. You knew it was coming. So well spoken. I mean, come on, how awesome. So we kind of mentioned it. You started in Southern Pickleball tournaments. Did that help you at all? With now that you're playing these big matches, did you take anything from kind of your Southern Pickleball tournaments or other amateur tournaments that you can then use to help you in these pro tournaments, whether it's like a breathing technique or like a reset or like a mental reset? I mean, was there anything that you learned? Or
one of the biggest things I learned was honestly the pickleball etiquette with Southern Pickleball, with how everybody treated each other and how nice and well-spoken everybody were, even after the game and during the game. It definitely helped me for where I am now.
Love to hear that. Here at Southern Pickleball, we're all about the sportsmanship, camaraderie, and good pickleball.
Southern hospitality.
Southern hospitality. That's right. So you mentioned earlier then you played a tournament together. I just want to ask you both, what's been your best Southern pickleball tournament moment, and then just your best tournament moment overall? And then
I know your best Southern
you as well,
pickleball
Stan.
tournament moment.
What would that be?
You were playing with that young man right there.
Oh, yes. I finally was able to play with Corin, and, you know, I just had to drag him across the finish line.
Whoa.
It was
true.
I'm glad it's not only me that do that when we play with
I
them.
was very tired.
it.
My back
Watch
hurt.
it.
I was like, oh my goodness, this is rough.
I was just trying to show you what it was like to be a primetime player.
I definitely felt it, trust me.
You got a pickle in that particular game, right?
We did. We pickled one of the teams who had never gotten pickled before. It was
Yeah.
the best day ever.
They were heavily favored to win it too.
Yeah, if the Duper algorithm would have showed us, they probably would have been favored to win like 11-3, 11-4 or something.
Yeah.
Yep. My duper would have shot up.
Oh, I'm telling you. But I can't. Don't ever put that game in there because I'm everyone's favorite 4-4 duper, and I can't have that change. That one might take me like a 4-7. And then what about your just best tournament moment overall? Doesn't have to be Southern, just anything.
Honestly, I would say this tournament that just passed, being able to win a game or two in main draw and to play these pros and get my name even further out there, that was definitely one of my best experiences.
Yeah, round of 32 is no joke. I mean, that is so cool. I mean,
Thank you.
there's so many people that just go play the qualifiers and don't even make the main draw. And to make the main draw, win a game, go to round of 32, how cool. So what about you, Stan? What's your best tournament moment?
I think I'll go back to my best Southern pickleball tournament moment. Was down in Macon at Tatnall Park, and me and Jada was playing on that championship court against Angie and oh man, his name just left me. Who was her partner back then?
Oh, John?
Yes,
John Martin?
Angie and John Martin.
Yeah.
And me and Jada finally beat them in a championship match and won gold.
Yep.
That's a great park to play pickleball at.
Yeah.
It's one of the best.
It was one of the best moments, and probably one of the last tournaments that I got to play with Jada before I just realized I couldn't keep up with these young kids as she moved up to the 4-0 bracket. And I did one 4-0 tournament with her up in Hiawassee and just couldn't keep up with the hands of this, 22-year-old kid.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, Jada, I got to find you another young partner. And so that was one of the last gold medal matches that we won together, and it was special because we beat Angie and John, who was holding us back for a year.
Oh, yeah. OGs out here. And then, of course, Jada, as your dad said, you've been leveling up and leveling up and leveling up. But so it's interesting to me, just to go back to the PPA for a minute, you played pro qualifier and pro main draw, and then you played 5-0. So I have two questions. The first question is, what made you play 5-0 instead of the junior bracket, right? So why not play the junior division? And the second question is, should you be allowed, if you make a main draw, to still then play in the 5-0 bracket, in your opinion?
For the first question, say it again. This is a rough one.
So you played the 5-0 and you didn't compete in the junior division, which you're still eligible for, correct?
Yes.
So what drove you to then want to play in the 5-0 division instead of going and playing the junior division?
With juniors, it is very hard for the level to be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
It's off of age, not skill level. So even though it's 16 under, you can still play a 15, 16-year-old who could be 3-0s, which, I mean, good for them that they're getting into the sport and everything, but it's just not as fun and competitive for me, right?
And now it might even, with the new duper algorithm, if you don't just pickle them, it may hurt what you're trying to do.
Yeah,
yep, that's
a good point.
Even more rough.
So there's a lot of risk for you doing that.
For the second question, I personally think if you can make main draw, you shouldn't be able to play 5-0.
Oh, that's not the answer I thought we were going to get.
Although it's nice to be able to play both pro and 5-0.
Yeah.
I think if you're able to get to that level of pro to where you can make main draw, especially if you win a game or two, 5-0 is just going to be easy for you. You shouldn't really play it.
Yeah. Jada and I think a lot alike with that stuff. I'm surprised how much that's what. So I had a similar thing in my 4-5 bracket. So one of the guys I lost to played men's senior pro, and won a couple of matches in men's senior pro. So, which I was fine. I just thought you should have to pick that weekend or that week which one you want to do. If you want to be a senior pro that week, go do senior pro, or if you want to be 4-5 that week. Now I've done that too. I mean, I played Atlanta Open. I played senior pro one time and played the 4. I think I played senior pro and the 4-0. And I learned really quick. I had no business.
Level difference.
I had no business, playing in the senior pro unless there was another 4-0 player that was just as dumb enough as I was to pay the higher entry fee to play. But I think the right thing would be is that you just have to pick which one you want to do that week, because it would be. I would think if I was a 5-0 women's player and I came there and I traveled cross country, paid the money for airfare and the tournament and all that, and then I lost to you in the first round this weekend, and I saw, wow, on Wednesday she was playing against Leah Jansen and doing well and holding her own, and now I had to play her in the 5-0 bracket. Man, I
kind of
got
sucks.
ripped off, didn't I?
Got a little bit ripped off.
But that's not a you thing. It's just that's a
nature of the beast.
systemic problem across
It's
everything.
definitely it's a half and half. It's like I definitely think if you can make it to main draw, you probably shouldn't play 5-0. But it's also you want to get your money's worth. So you want to play 5-0 because it's like, why not? I'm there for this long. I might as well play this category too.
Yeah, I always think there's some answer in the middle. I think maybe you can sign up for both. Because there's going to be so many people that play pro qualifiers. I play with people that play pro qualifiers just to do it. But I think, as Jada's saying, if you make the main draw, you should have to withdraw from your 5-0 bracket. Hard part about that is, for a tournament organizer, that changes your whole bracket, right?
Yes.
And you don't know kind of until, when did you know you were in to the main draws? On Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday.
So, and then the other brackets start on Saturday, which on Wednesday you're already running other brackets.
Were you playing with the same player?
No, not for pro. And
So that's another challenge.
Yeah,
I mean, that'd be a tough phone call to make and go, hey, sorry,
I'm too good.
I made the main draw, so I'm not playing with you.
I actually had a friend who made main draw, and she was doing juniors. And because they changed up the junior schedule, she had to pick between, should I play main draw or do I play juniors? And she decided with main draw, but it's hard because now her women's juniors partner is like, well, I'm just stuck here for doing nothing this day.
Ooh, that's tough.
And I think there's a lot of people at every PPA event or even APP event that would be willing to step in if something like that happens. And if they allow that substitution last minute, and you're not going to get that many exceptions to, hey, I made main draw, so I got to pull out a 5-0. I like that as well. If you make main draw, hey, let's give some of the other amateurs a chance. And hey,
PPA, are you listening?
Yeah, there's definitely people there that will step in. We had a friend of ours who lost, her partner couldn't make it up that morning. And, she had to find a sub, and there was people there ready to jump in and be like, I'll play with you. And I don't think it would throw off the brackets that much, and there'd be plenty of standbys.
I like that.
Yeah, I love the rule with if you make main draw. I think as a tournament organizer, where it gets tricky, we've even been debating about whether after the registration is closed, if it's fair to let players in late, because what happens now, there's so much information out there and everything that players are waiting and seeing, and everybody's so, worried about their duper that they're waiting to see if it's a bracket that will be good for their duper or not. Or if you even let a last minute substitution, is like, Corin might be like, well, man, I'm not going to play with Mark now. I want to sub somebody else out because I need a better player to play with me. So unfortunately, people just take the rules and run with it. But I think what we're talking about, at least that would be easy if PPA is listening, to say, hey, if I'm in the main draw, I understand that I probably shouldn't play in the other. Let somebody sub in so who I was playing with can still play. Yeah. That sounds like like that's easy left there.
Just take it a step further. Now that you've made a main draw, you've won a main draw match, should you be allowed to play 5-0 ever again?
Yes, I personally think so, yes. I actually have friends who disagree with me, though. Because of the rate that I'm growing and stuff, let's say by the end of the year, if I am consistently over and over again making main draw, it should at some point be I shouldn't play 5-0. Especially if I continue to win 5-0 and make it to main draw. It's just not fun for the players in 5-0 and not fun for me because I personally want to really focus on that pro career.
Yeah, and I guess some of that too hopefully will come down if the duper algorithm is working the way it should. If you're consistently making main draw, that duper should be up to where that 5-0 is no longer an option.
Yeah.
So hopefully that would take care of that. But yeah, that's
so you got. I mean, you two very well spoken. It seems like you have some good ideas. So let me put you on the spot then, because you mentioned a little bit earlier in the juniors, the big issue is the skill and just it's just not worth it. How would you go about fixing the juniors? Just real quick, simple, simple as possible. But how would you go? Let's start with you, Stan.
You
look like you have a good answer.
Junior PPA commissioner.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I would definitely have a intermediate and advanced, right, with each age category. And then I would spread it out just a little bit further than the 2-year gap that they're doing.
Yeah.
So that you don't have, 2 sections every 2 years. So it might be.
What would be your age groups?
It would probably be 11 to 14 or maybe 13 to 16. I'll do a 3-year span.
Yeah.
So, 13, 14, 15, maybe 16 can play each other, or 14, 15, 16. Just the 3-year spans and do intermediate and advanced. And that way it's more of a level playing field. It doesn't,
Now is the age span so you'd have more players to be able to have a good draw?
Yes.
Or is it okay?
Because once you break up the intermediate and advanced, you're going to shrink the pool a little bit for each one. So you got to expand it by including a few more players with that age range.
Are you interested in being Southern Pickleball?
He would love.
I would love nothing more than to work on that. I was trying to help Lifetime develop something. I think I have a passion for juniors, as you know, with my daughter.
Right.
And I 100% think that we could help this take off. And a lot of kids and parents, and I'll even say when you look at the number of minorities, because, I'll bring this up. When we go to the pickleball tournaments, we don't see a whole lot of kids that look like Jada.
Right.
We just don't. And on the south side of Atlanta, their pickleball isn't where it's at because it's just not that popular. And the parents don't really see a path to and understand what can happen from pickleball, whether it's the reason parents get their kids into basketball is for scholarships,
right?
Tennis for scholarships.
So is it the perceived opportunity that you think's holding back some of the inclusivity, or are there other challenges?
The perceived opportunity is really holding that back, and just the awareness, right? We have to travel. We just got 2 parks kind of near on the south side of Atlanta, Sykes Park and Southside Park, right? That's it. You go north of I-20 and you got 30 choices to choose from, for this outdoor parks. And, so there's opportunity, exposure, and then parents don't understand the opportunity that can be there for their kids. 'Cause I got to imagine that, 3 more years, there's going to be a decent amount of college scholarships because the pickleball clubs are blowing up like crazy on these college campuses. So, that's kind of what I would look at doing.
So with that being said, do you think there's even enough juniors to do all these, to do these junior divisions? Like you said, you're going to have to split it up and split it. But when you're saying that, I'm thinking the difference between a 13-year-old and a 16-year-old is me at 13 and me at 16 was, I was 2 different people. I was much more developed at 16. Granted, I was playing sports, I was lifting weights, but I was like a lot bigger, a lot faster. So do you think there's ever enough juniors where we can maybe keep it where it's at and then split out the divisions that way? So there's not that big age gap, and it's not such that, difference?
You'll get there. I think there's there's way more juniors now, and you would probably get parents more willing to put their kids in it if they knew there was a skill bracket versus just an age bracket.
Right.
We are at Lifetime, and we had Jada help teach a junior camp at Lifetime, and there was 8 kids in it, but there was a definitive age skill gap. Right. And their ages range from 10 to 15.
It might have been 8.
Yeah, 8 to 15. And a very definitive skill gap, right? And the 4 kids with the higher skill level, they ended up playing together, and the 4 kids, regardless of the age gap.
Right.
So it might be even more beneficial, after a certain age range, under 10, just to do skills versus age.
Yeah.
Or maybe even under 12, just straight skill.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, we've seen even at the adult level, Corin, we've experienced this at a tournament where if we have to combine the 2-5 and 3-0s.
Yes.
So 2-5 is the beginners, and so if we don't get enough 2-5 players and they play a 3-0, and we've had players quit during the middle of the tournament or come up afterwards and say, I'm never going to do that again.
Unfair.
And it's not and it was our failing as a tournament operator that we didn't get enough people at their level. But unfortunately, they got turned off, and I think, that's an adult. I mean, the kids are much more impressionable than an adult, so if they go out there and don't get to play at their level, they're certainly not going to go. I read something today on the internet that the number one reason that kids drop out of junior athletics and sports is because they feel like they're failing to meet their parents' expectations, and they're not willing to accept that challenge anymore because their parents are so hard on them and they feel like they're failing their parents, so they just quit playing. They're like, rather than trying to please mom or dad, I'll just quit playing at all. Yeah. I was like, wow, that's pretty strong.
Do you ever get that pressure, Jada?
You would be surprised what the first 2 years looked like. It was rough.
Whatever do you mean?
No, the first 2 years, we definitely, between me and my dad, we had to come to an understanding of how much pressure was too much pressure.
Yeah.
Because I had a lot of moments where I was like, honestly, if you keep pressuring me like this, I won't play. It's not fun. It's nothing fun about it, the way that, you're coming across it, because in his eyes, he just wants you to do good so that way you can have this career and this sport and background to play with. But for me, it's just pressure and living up to that expectation. It's not as fun. But once we came to that understanding and agreement of how much was too much, it definitely was smooth sailing from there.
Yeah. Was that hard for you, Stan, to find that line? Because I don't know. I have one son. He's 10 months old. I'm just ready for him to walk. I have no clue the expectations to put on.
Come on now. He's already had a pickleball paddle in his hand. No.
Right.
Jeff, you've already got Jeff on the pro tour. Don't give us that stuff.
He knows how to balance a
pickleball.
pickleball.
He does have 2 paddles. No, but I assume it was never in harm, right? You just want what's best for Jay. And you also know probably what she's capable of, right? And that's sometimes difficult. Especially, I'm sure, with the kid who's not always taking it so serious. Sorry, Jada. I'm sure you weren't always.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah.
But Dad's investing a lot of money, a lot of travel, time. So you're really blessed to have a parent that gives those opportunities to you.
Yes, but that, I think, was also kind of a rough part of it, because that's also what the kid is thinking, that this is a lot of money, because the parent will tell you, like, hey, I'm spending a lot of money on this. So for the kid to know you're spending a lot of money on this, it's like pressure. It's even more pressure. So then I'm like, well, I really want to stop then,
because I don't want you to waste your money
right.
And that's the biggest advice that I tell parents is, don't really tell your kid that I'm spending this much money on this. And and if there was one thing that I could take back, is when I said something to that effect. Like, if I'm going to pay this much money, then you got to do this.
Because it's not about that. You're just doing it because you love her and you want to support her. Because it doesn't really have anything to do.
It really doesn't. Because I'm gonna spend that money no matter what, right? if you want to do it, I'm going to spend the money, and it's just the wrong motivation, right? spending that money is motivation for us as adults, right? Because that's what happened. If I'm going to pay you X amount of dollars, this is the expectation on your job. Well, it's not a job for the kids, and we can't use that as the motivating factor.
Man, this has been good conversation.
Yeah, it's been great. And we don't want to keep you guys too much longer. We appreciate you so much, and I think you guys have given us some great insight. But I do want to know, just for parents out there, because every parent thinks that their child's going to be the next pickleball pro like Jada, right? Every parent thinks that their kid's going to go make $10 million playing pickleball. When do you know, or when did you know that Jada needed to take it less as a fun thing and kind of be more serious, right? Was that something you decided together? Did you decide that as the parent?
No, she decided that.
Okay.
Right. And I had told her one time, I was like, if you want to do it for fun, great. Just tell me, because we'll go to the park every Saturday and just have fun. But if you want to be serious, we're going to have to put some work in. Yeah. And if you want to put the work in, and it had nothing to do with money, it was put the work in. Let me see you put some work in.
Right.
And when I saw her willing to put the work in, not at my level, not as much as I wanted her to, I wanted her to really put the work in. But my wife had to help me understand also that she's improving and she's doing more than she was last month, or she's doing more than she was 3 months ago. And about 4 divorces later, me and my wife, got on the same page and realized that she wants it. We're going to support it, and she's willing to put the work in, and she's going to disappoint us sometime, and we're going to get frustrated, but we're going to keep pushing forward.
And so then for you, Jada, when did you know that you wanted to take it serious? Was it a certain skill? Did you beat a certain player? When did you say, okay, I love this sport. This is fun. I love going to Shaw Park every Saturday morning. But now I need to spend my Saturday mornings drilling.
Park said she couldn't play Ladder League Thursday night. She said, I want to become a pro. No,
it's okay. That definitely was going to be a part of my answer. That moment clicked. I was like, oh, I'm becoming a pro right here, right now.
I love it.
No, it definitely was more so after watching actually some pros play and seeing how far they can go, especially like Georgia Johnson, Jada, Anna Lee, Ben, all of them, just seeing how far they can go, what they did, and how fast they got there, it definitely encouraged me to look at that route and say, okay, I think I want to really possibly take this turn in this road to that level.
That's a good answer. That's a wrong answer. I think the answer actually really is that one time you played a 4-0 tournament with Corin. and you won gold, and you realized, wow, I carried this guy to a 4-0 gold. I must be pretty good. I must be.
Trust me, I thought about it. I was like, after I carried you, like when my back hurt, everything, I was like, yeah, no, I definitely can be Anna Lee Waters right here, right now after this, for sure.
Well, I'll tell you, really, because back in the Shaw Park days, there was an elite group of players, Justin, Corin, Brett, the Oglethorpe boys, Sam, John Mark. There was just, this high level of players. And I think there was just this moment where Jada was like, I'm not scared of any of them anymore.
Yeah.
And like, I can actually beat half of them. And now she's
scared.
Yeah. So, and at that point, it just really kind of clicked with her, at least to me, when she realized that. And it was right before that she said, I want to sign up for that ladder league again and go back and beat those players that didn't think I was worth it.
How cool. Well, man, we appreciate y'all coming. I mean, it's been a great episode. You guys have given some great insight. And I love seeing you all together. For those you're not going to be able to see, but Jada's mom's here right off camera as well. So they're always together, always a family affair. The nicest people ever. If ever I'm playing my little 4-0 tournaments.
We might have a new junior commissioner.
Coming soon. But yeah, no, thank you guys so much. So cool to see what you're doing, Jada. Stan, we want to see you more. I know you're busy, manager, new Southern Pickleball Junior Commissioner.
It's a second job.
I know your schedule's packed, but we love seeing you guys, and thank you all for coming. Love to hear it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys for joining us for another Southern Pickleball podcast episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Let us know how great Jada and the whole family are. Let us know what you think about juniors. How would you fix the junior division? And anything else that might come to your brain. Thank you guys again, and we'll see you next week.